Hey guys, it's Chris and welcome back to another House of the Dragon video. And today let's talk episode 5 and go over the little preview teaser they put out. Obviously this will contain some minor spoilers, at least for what I think is going to be happening in the next episode. So if you don't want to know anything, good time to tune out now. So let's jump right into it. The first shot here we have of Corlys Velaryon, the sea snake, heading back to King's Landing. You can see two dragons here in the sky as well. I believe that's going to be Meleys and Sea Smoke, as we see Rhaenys riding Meleys and Laenor riding Sea Smoke. And this will essentially be him returning to King's Landing, returning to court after this proposed marriage that we see in the next scene, which is actually going to be Viserys going to Driftmark to actually propose this marriage we talked about in episode 4. This is obviously when Rhaenyra is going to be forced to marry Laenor Velaryon in exchange for getting rid of Otto Hightower, which we just saw. So he's going to head to Driftmark to ask him personally, because Corlys Velaryon, as we heard in the last episode, was going to marry his daughter Laena to a Sea Lord's son in Braavos. That put a lot of pressure on Viserys to bring House Velaryon back into the fold. Next, we see the first shots of the wedding we're going to have next week between Laenor Velaryon and Rhaenyra as well. It looks like they may combine this with the celebration at the wedding itself versus a tournament that was held in honor of the wedding in the books. So another few shots of the wedding. Then we're going to see another shot here. This pretty much confirms, I believe, this is going to be Rhaenys riding Meleys for the first time in the show. And again, Laenor Velaryon riding Sea Smoke. We've already seen Sea Smoke in action at the War for the Stepstones. But now we're going to see them heading to King's Landing as the Velaryon fleet heads to King's Landing as well, probably for the wedding. And you can definitely see in the next little shot here, this is in fact a red dragon Meleys with the regular length neck as opposed to Caraxes, who is the bloodworm. The same type of coloring, but he's got the elongated body and the wings on his legs and all that. And then Sea Smoke we saw last week, same type of dragon, same gray color. Then we see the scene that we saw in the original trailer where Rhaenys is talking to Corlys Velaryon. She knows the deal. She's been passed up herself and her children as well. This is what Corlys has been bitter about the last few episodes during the small council meetings, and essentially why he left the council in the first place a couple weeks ago when King Viserys refused to marry Laena and instead chose Alicent Hightower. Next, we have a shot here of people entering the feast/wedding, and this is going to be Jason and Tywin Lannister. Obviously, we saw them the last couple episodes. Also, remember that Tywin Lannister is now on the King's Council since Corlys Velaryon left. We saw him last episode for a quick moment. And by the way, as I said last week as well, this is the same guy who played Sir Hugh of the Vale in Game of Thrones, playing both Jason and Tywin. Next shot, we see Sir Criston Cole, and it looks like he's kind of pulling out his sword, maybe swearing loyalty to Alicent here. So we're starting to see the real fracturing here get a little darker, a little bit more spicy here in House of the Dragon, as Sir Criston Cole looks to be drawing his sword to swear fealty to Alicent. And again, without going into too many spoilers and jumping too far ahead, Sir Criston Cole does end up on the Green Council for Aegon II as opposed to Rhaenyra. And of course, last episode it was confirmed that he did in fact break his vows and ride the dragon. We see a brawl break out at the wedding feast here, and again, I believe this is going to replace the tournament that was held in the books for the wedding. So we see Sir Laenor Velaryon getting thrown across the table. We see another shot of Sir Harwin Strong, otherwise known as Breakbones here, punching somebody in the face. Of course, he is the captain of the City Watch at this point, but it also looks like during the next shot, Sir Criston Cole gets a hold of him, and this is where Breakbones becomes Broken Bones. We see a quick shot of Alicent, and then we jump over to the Sea Snake, and he's getting off the Driftwood throne. This is the actual throne on Driftmark of House Velaryon. So this is likely when King Viserys actually goes to Driftmark to propose this wedding that we heard the voiceover for earlier in the teaser. And this next shot is going to be really interesting here. It basically seems to confirm some suspicions people have had in the books for quite a while. We see Daemon Targaryen, and this is going to be in the Vale, because the next shot we do see his current wife, his bronze bitch, Rhea Royce, as she falls off her horse here, with seems to be Daemon right in front of her, and this is going to be no accident. As we see the next shot of Viserys laying out here with more lesions and stuff on his skin here as he's basically falling apart, we hear the voiceover of Otto Hightower saying the king will die as he's telling Alicent to prepare Aegon to rule. So he's going through with his plan, although he's no longer hand of the king. He's already got everything in motion. Now, I don't believe Viserys is dead here. I think he's just being treated by the maesters. It seems to be he's pretty much fallen apart, and it seems they're going a different route with sickness as opposed to the books, but I won't get into details there. And then we see another shot of Rhaenyra really quickly with Sir Criston Cole, as at this point he is still her sworn shield. And now things are going to get really awkward between them, as of course what happened in the last episode when she went out drinking, came back and saw him there, pulled him in, he broke his vows, he rode the dragon, and then the splintering with her and Alicent as well is going to cause even more of a rift, so that's going to be interesting as well. And then we see more shots of the wedding feast where all the fights breaking out, and then where we saw Rhea Royce, as I mentioned before, falling off her horse, and it looks to be Daemon right in front of her in some type of robe. So this will likely be no accident here, and this kind of clears the way for, I don't know, another wife. Next, we see a quick shot of Alicent looking over as the king arrives back to King's Landing. This is likely after he's visited Driftmark. that it looks like Viserys collapses down here after getting out of the wagon. So essentially we're seeing the beginning of the end for King Viserys here, and I won't go any further than that due to spoiler sake to try not to jump ahead too far, but obviously he's having pretty bad health conditions at this point where he collapses coming off the coach. And then the last shot we hear Otto's continued voiceover here talking to Alicent here, where he's basically saying the king will die, prepare Aegon to rule. So he's going to do anything he can to keep Daemon Targaryen away from the Iron Throne, because it's more about keeping him away from the Iron Throne than it is really Rhaenyra. But of course he has his own ambition to have his own grandson, Aegon, sit the Iron Throne in the first place. Thank you guys for stopping by the live stream last night. Really enjoyed these post-game live streams. And of course, let me know what you think so far of the first 4 episodes of House of the Dragon. Getting darker, getting spicy. And also a quick shout out to all you guys who support me on Patreon. I really appreciate all the support. And of course, if you dig what I do here, please give these videos a like, comment, and a share. And do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button as we try to march towards 100,000 subscribers. So thanks for clicking, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.